You know how I do.
Amounts of right click. However, Song of the Siren disjointed the fight and came back in favor of Fnatic.
And we're back. Game number 2 of our first best of 3 of the night, and playoff implications run rampant here in this series. TongFu leads 1-0 right now, and HGT has got to get it together. It's a win and you're in situation. Whoever wins this series, Strauff, is heading into the bubble race one way or another. And at the same time, there's another team that's watching from the sidelines right now that wants to see a particular result coming out of our second best of 3. We'll get to that later, but for right now, this draft, a little over halfway done. Prophet, Ancient Apparition, and Rubik should differentiate. It will be Death Prophet for HGT, while Tidehunter, Jakiro, Brew, and the Ember are out for TongFu. And, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just add a Brewmaster. It's fine.
Yeah, it makes it even stronger team fight. Really like this from TongFu. There is a nice Rubik pickup to steal some very good spells. Tidehunter Ravage, Brewmaster Split, Jakiro's Ice Path. All fantastic spells to steal. So we'll see if the Rubik player for HGT can do that. Death Prophet, Ancient Apparition. I'm going to use a term that you use a lot, which I think is appropriate here, but it seems very thin early on. Like they're very squishy, not very mobile heroes from HGT. So interested to see how they round this out. But early on here, I do have to say I like TongFu's draft a bit better. It's like got a lot of tier 1 heroes and heroes that fight well, fight early, actually fight early and late, and can push early too with the Jakiro.
I would say it's very forgiving, you know, and maybe that's another term we can incorporate there. I do use the term thin a lot. Doom helps in that regard, but whenever I think of a thin lineup, I see heroes that, when played well, if they execute correctly and they make very few mistakes, are going to be very, very strong. Rubik and Ancient Apparition are prime examples of that, and my goodness, is it going to be a smorgasbord of abilities to steal for Rubik. He's going to have Ravage, even Anchor Smash isn't bad. He's going to have Jakiro's entire kit. He's going to have Brewmaster Split and Clap, excellent abilities, as well as Ember Spirit, especially if he's able to get Searing Chains as an example. So the Rubik pick makes sense to me. There's a ton of magic damage as well. Just output from the Jakiro and Nullfield eventually will help out with that quite a bit. But again, like you said, they're squishy, and you know, roaming together, they're not bad. You know, if you really do well with the Cold Feet Telekinesis combination, it does come very close to guaranteeing you a stun off of that. But still, damage output from the two by themselves isn't great. They need a lot of help. Doom, you know, depending on how he develops his items, he can be a right clicker, but damage right now just feels very thin to me for Hyper Glory Team, and they do feel like they're going to get punished just so badly with any kind of poor positioning whatsoever. For TongFu, you've got an elusive Ember Spirit, and then 3 heroes that are just damn tanky and hard to kill, even in the best of circumstances.
Yeah, I feel like Rubik Ancient Apparition is a fantastic support combo. We've seen it a lot from the East. The problem is that I feel like they needed like a Venge or something, someone that could help out the Death Prophet if he gets initiated on.
Right.
I feel like the only thing they have to do that is a blink, like a blink mech from Doom if he decides to go mech, or just to try to get aggressive on your own heroes. But yeah, like once they go on the Death Prophet, like what does he do? Or what does she do? I don't think the supports can really help out. They actually banned out Venge themselves, which would have been okay for TongFu. I don't think they really need it though. I guess it would have helped out with the push with the aura, but I don't think they would have gone for that. I think they want to go with probably something else. But yeah, I think if they wanted to do this Rubik Ancient Apparition, I think they needed to be a more like tanky hero than Death Prophet. Obviously, Death Prophet builds tanky, and yes, you do get your HP back from the ghosts, but until you really start snowballing, this hero is very, very squishy. And we've seen the Eastern teams be very good about capitalizing on the low base movement speed from Death Prophet before you get extra levels in the Witchcraft.
Yeah, I think you've really just summed it up. The Death Prophet's got a big target on her forehead.
Yeah.
And they're just going to go on her because what's the rest of the team going to do? Doom's an excellent answer to Ember and to Brew and to Tide, but there are 3 of those and 1 of him. So he can only take 1 out of the fight at any given point. I adore this Clockwork pickup. What were we just talking about? What were you so accurately talking about? Death Prophet. What do they do when they go on the Death Prophet? But Death Prophet does get quick. Witchcraft helps, builds a Yules, what have you. Now you got a Clockwork who's just going to cog her in, and then she's trapped. If he hits a hook on her, it's just going to be a lost fight because Doom can't doom everyone.
Yeah, well, she's going to need a really fast BKB this game.
Yep.
Like her item progression needs to be like phase boots, Yules, into BKB. No BS after that. The only interesting thing is that Clockwork's picked up. It's going to be played by U9, who was a very good Clockwork. I would say that he hasn't impressed me more than the other, for instance, Kian and Xinxing have really, really impressed me. But U9, he's really impressed me specifically on a Clockwork. They pick it for him a lot. So it will be Kabu playing a 4-position Tidehunter, something we haven't seen yet from the Eastern scene. So I'm curious to see how that pans out. And the last pick is going to be the Batrider here for HGT.
The Batrider's a fine pick. This HGT draft, if I just don't see a whole lot of sustained damage here. Like I see decent roaming, and like you said, this is a really strong support combination from HGT. But ZSMJ is going to be hard farming the Doom. They're going to run the Death Prophet mid with air. And everyone else is just kind of situational. And yes, I know Ice Blast can do a tremendous amount of damage, especially once he gets a Scepter up. But it feels like they've got one big wad to shoot, if that makes sense. They've got one big opportunity to capitalize in every single fight. And they have to play very, very... they have to play like a scalpel, not like a shotgun. You know, they have to be very specific in choosing when they fight and how they fight and choosing their targets, or they're just going to lose. And we are going to have potential for action as the invasion is on from HGT. They get a ward down. That's a sentry looking to block the pool camp. And TongFu playing pretty cautiously here. Who do you think has the best level 1 if we do see a big engagement?
Well, HGT does have 5 members close by with air. But it's hard for me to say. Looking at all the heroes. I mean, Ancient Apparition is considered very, very strong in level 1 engagements because of the Chilling Touch. But it really comes down to initiation, too. Like Gush, if he did level up Gush, actually. I guess it makes more sense because he has support, so never mind. That seems to be a lot more common. They're going to ping it out, but it's actually not in range. That was a common spot where he just ate the tree right there. So they're going to have to place another sentry if they really want to counter this. So, yep, unfortunately, has only 1 tree now worth of regen for Kabu as he pooled, I'm assuming mid. Yeah, 2 pool from mid. And U9, he's going to do some blocking here with some shenanigans of the cogs, which is always good to do. And yeah, so it will be the bat lane, or bat in the off lane with a jungle Doom? Oh, he's just starting off in the jungle. Okay.
He's standing in the jungle right now. Is he going to go to work? May go grab him. So yeah, like you said, he's just going to... Oh, wow. Already a bottom. Rand's in trouble. And TongFu might get a first blood here. Gush is up in 4 seconds. He's so close to dead. Can Kabu get vision? No. So close. He can try to follow him. Yeah, he's going for it. He is just going to go for this.
No, that's not going to work.
No. He ate a tree, so he's okay. But Kabu does get a little creep aggro on the way out. But very ballsy from him, and a nice start as they run the bat out. And he may just go, wow, he's actually just going to hang and try to tango up. And yeah, he's going to be so careful.
He's dead.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just about to say he may need to just straight go back to base because there's a lot of range damage in this lane.
Yeah, Tide almost died there too, but man, that's definitely worth it. Very curious about walking back in there. At the very least, he TPs and he's going to get level 2 off of this. Tide just kills himself smartly. I think he got first blood gold 2 for that, so that's boots for him. He can sell something if he wants to have a TP, come back in lane quicker, but chooses not to. So very nice start there for TongFu. Kind of was just given to him.
Well, we see this bottom lane going the way of TongFu. How about mid? Kian up against Air, the Brew versus the Death Prophet. DP's at 8 CS. Brew is right there with her, so basically a wash so far. And this is going to be a very threatening lane for Air, the higher level Kian gets, though. And I don't think it's going to take long for us to see maybe a little bit of rotation from LPC in particular. 2-minute rune spawns, bounty found by Rand, not bad. And Kian bottles a haste rune.
Yep, did miss a lot of creeps, though, in mid to try to go get that haste rune, but at least has a haste rune. One of the best runes in the game to actually have, to dodge ganks, to gank yourself if you can, and yeah, he's really putting it to Rand here with this level 1 gush.
Chased him through the secret shop all the way back. And Rand is just short of level 3, so he's going to abandon the lane and go on into the jungle.
No stacks for him, unfortunately, and the mud golems, so gonna not have the best time here early on. And that's gonna mean complete free farm for the Ember Spirit, who played did fantastically last time. I'm assuming it was the same player. And then top lane, U9, he's in the same boat as far as experience, but god, this skin or whatever it is looks just like DK to me.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. It's because it looks like he's holding a little sword.
Yeah.
Well, the lanes are going to be calm for a while now, as I doubt U9's going to get too far out. They actually got about half a level, if not more, just in that last wave. So he's up to level 2.5. Not bad. They are doing a fairly good job of zoning him. This is going to be a big wave pushing in. It's going to be double ranged. And there's a catapult on the way in the next wave as well. So this is going to be up to him to try to defend. They have a glyph if they need it, of course. Rocket player's out. Pretty hard trying to zone him with the threat of a telekinesis. ZSMJ running it back. There's going to be the telekinesis. There's a cold feet. Let's see if they can get the proc. Yep, see, it's close, but not quite. They're going to be able to chase him and burn him down. If they react, though, this should be at least some kind of a kill, and they do. Tide's coming that way, and not going to do anything but walk past them and say hello. Say, hey, well played, guys. Yeah, you got him. Good job. Got him.
Yeah, if they had more response there, they'd definitely get a very nice exchange out of it. U9's still scared of him because he TP'd to the backward side, or the back side of the tower, I should say. So I thought they were going to get punished for that, but they get out scot-free. So good levels on the supports, very good levels on the supports of HGT. Like, Ancient Apparition's almost level 4. Same thing with Pretty Ha on the Rubik. And then the Doom picked up a kill on top of that. So, yeah, very nice exchange there for HGT. Even baited out the TP, or the rotation of Kabu.
Kabu's job is just to do things to the Bad Rider. Look where he is right now. They just noticed that the Bat's here, and Rand's going to end up dead. So every time he shows his face in lane, he dies. Kabu, literally, he has a sentry. He might decide to block one of these camps, actually. No, gonna wander out. I think he definitely wandered that way just to see if he can find the Bad Rider and mess with him. Nope,
they missed the connect pull with U9 screwing with them a little bit, so it's gonna push up unless they pull it from the side. But that's hard to do if Clockwork's, using rockets and things like that. So. He will get some good experience here. Hopefully they do have TPs yet again on their supports. Actually, LPC needs to tell them and communicate that I can't TP because he needs to go back to base. He's got, like, no health and very little mana, so... They won't have a rotation from him. Tide doesn't have a TP, so he's got to be careful if this pushes up too hard for him. And mid, looks like a possible gank attempt onto the Death Prophet. I am a little sad that they haven't tried to pressure her more just because she is so gankable before she gets levels in Witchcraft. But now with it up, she's running for 363 movement speed. Wouldn't be surprised to see her opt out of her ulti, and then that'll put her at about 380 or so, I think.
Tide actually did drop that sentry in the hard camp.
That's weird.
Hey, just trying to... Like, he's basically been wandering around doing nothing but trying to screw with Rand. That's his whole job. And the sad thing is they're not even holding him down that well. He's level 5. I mean, he went into the jungle, and all it takes is 1 or 2 rotations for the Bat, and he's in good shape. And that's the case now. They're going to dive him again, maybe. This tower's going to end up dropping this wave. And the power of Liquid Fire showing itself again. And Rand's playing much smarter this time. He's all the way back near his tier 2, anticipating that might be an element of danger hiding out in these woods.
Yep, I would like to see, like, Ember Spirit put 1 point into Slight when he was 5. Just go 2-1-2, just so he could have that ranged initiation. I think it'd be way easier to actually capitalize onto Rand. Rand's going to show himself, but he's pretty fast with Tranquils. So, yeah, they have to be careful. LPC, a TP coming in from the Rubik.
And there's an Ice Path. As LPC was in a good position, they got Rand as well, steering chains. And they get him. Kabu's likely to give his body here as well. Air's going to get that kill with a Crypt Swarm. Pretty hot chasing down LPC. There goes the Courier. And LPC turns, and yeah, Pretty Hard has no mana. He's just chasing him. Now he's got 5 seconds until a telekinesis. Behind that is the Death Prophet. Now Kaka shows himself, and yeah, he's dead now, for sure. So patience pays off. It's 4-4 now. But they did get the Doom, and that's ZSMJ's Doom, which is a pretty big deal.
Yep, 2 cores for 2 supports, and the rotations bottom. I will definitely take that if I was TongFu. So really nice for them. Tidehunter's under level, but I think that's okay. He just hit 4, so he's getting his levels. I will say that the important thing is that HGT is creating a little bit of space for Air, who has 2 kills, but very low CS actually. 26 CS at 7 minutes is not very good for the mid lane, but with rotations it does, of course, dwindle down. But then speaking of rotations, you just have the Panda who's rotated a number of times, and he's got 31, so what a weird Crypt Swarm. I don't know if you saw that, but...
No, I got there just in time to see the last of it.
Okay, well, didn't hit anything. Yep, Panda used the blink, as we mentioned on the kill up to Doom. He's gonna have his blink in 100...
Hook! Top! ZSMJ caught in the middle of it. He's not level 6 yet. I was just going to mention this when you had finished your thought, and I'll mention it again anyway. He is using Scorched Earth, Battery Assault. Oh, it doesn't last long enough. He's gonna get away. They have nothing to follow it, and he's even going to south.
That was...
So, go ahead.
That was such a heads-up play by him, and did you see that? He was spamming the Raise Dead ability that he had, which mitigated damage from the Battery Assault, which is level 2. Had he not done that, he definitely dies there. Really nice play by CSMJ.
Really good call. What I was going to say, though, is that rotation that TongFu forced the bottom, not only was it positive in the sense that it was 2 supports for 2 cores, but we just saw Clockwork suddenly went from being to being level 6.5, almost level 7 now. Like, he was up here for like 2-3 minutes with no one in his face. So he caught up in gold, he's already got his treads up, and he damn well caught up in levels, and it almost cost ZSMJ his life. 4-4, 8 minutes in. Relatively active game. The gold lead from efficiency towers and all else. 2,000 in favor of TongFu. Experience slightly favoring HGT.
Well, there's a nice little stack here for the Brewmaster, too. It's pretty good for him. I wonder if they meant it for him or the Ember Spirit once he gets Battle Fury, or even the Tide. But either way, good farm for somebody. He's starting to do it. He does have a split up, and maybe we would like to see him use this time to go try to find a gank with the split, but wants these creeps instead. Yeah, he's not even going to finish him. Doesn't have the mana pool.
We've got 4 up at top. Check that, 5 up at top from HGT. I think they were anticipating a lot more than they got here. LPC showed himself, and then U9 shot a hook trying to catch one of the heroes right here. And I think they anticipated that there was going to be 5 coming with the Brewmaster split, as you said. Just, you know, he's had it so long and has yet to use it. And it's an understandable assumption, but this is just given a ton of room to TongFu. And I guarantee, yeah, it's slowly going up in terms of their advantage right now. And more importantly, the Tide's almost 6 and has Arc Boots.
Yep. They haven't got to... I don't think they've used Doom yet either, as he just hit 6 not too long ago. Ancient Apparition is getting good levels, though, I will say that. Like, Kaka, he's almost got level 6 for himself, too. Which is obviously one of the best ults in the game on a support. So, one more creep for him. I actually think ZSMJ was deliberately going to give him a creep experience, but he's like, nah, I can share this one and still get 6. So,
They're going to go here. U9 has his hook ready. He's actually going to be netted. Here comes Ken and LPC. Doom's used on U9, and there's the follow-up. Ice Path as well. Pretty hard, dead for sure, and Ken hasn't even had to use his split. In the meantime, U9 is fine, as ZSMJ had to break off pursuit. Ice Path up in 3 seconds. But they don't want to chase him. He's pretty quick with phase boots, and Kaka just bailed. As soon as the Ice Path wore off, he just ran for the trees. And there's going to be an ulti from the AA. They're coming into mid. Yeah, going to hit Kabu and Jin Q. But they're still getting the job done. And they're, yep, now they've got eyes on Kakas. They're going to be a hook. Yep, got him. Ken right there to follow. Beautifully executed.
Yep, and you just see the difference of effectiveness between, excuse me, the Doom ulti in comparison to like a Panda ulti. Doom ulti doesn't really do that much damage early on. I missed that kill, but Air, the Death Prophet, falls. Kabu might be in trouble. Yeah, they use Ravage. He will fall,
so
but
worth it, though.
Definitely worth it. And Brew has split up still as he makes his way towards mid.
Yep, and that's the important thing. This all that happened here at top, those kills, and the tower now about to die, Brew didn't have to expend his split. So he's got it to go collapse elsewhere if he wants to. And I really like the way, this is the best I think I've seen TongFu play in this series. Like, I really feel like they're playing remarkably well today.
Yeah, they were pretty shaky in the mid game last game, but they're playing way more solid this game. Although we haven't hit the mid game yet, so there is room for throw. So you can have to hold that thought for a second. But,
room for throw. I like it.
Yep. And Brown, who's Brown? Ran on the Batrider. He's actually gone into the enemy jungle to try to find some farm. He's very close to his blink, so maybe he can turn something around here for his team. As the rune is spawning in a second, let's see what it is. It will be a bounty bottom, and an invis top. Could be a useful rune here for TongFu.
HGT just has no burst potential, man. None. Like, they have no burst potential at all.
Right.
Against 3 heroes, you have to burst. Like, you're not going to kill a Tidehunter gradually. Even if you doom him, he'll just run away and wait and come back in with a Ravage. Same thing with Ember. If you manage to stun him, silence him, whatever, you better kill him quick or he's going to get away. And same thing with the, like the Brewmaster. Gotta burst him. Gotta burst him. Jakiro even. Need to burst him or he's gonna ice pack. And they just have 0 up. I don't know how they fight in the mid game. And yeah, look at this. Ken shows himself. He's still got split. There's an ice path to follow. Ravage up in 46 seconds. Ken just gonna take a solo kill here. Maybe. Nope, couldn't get in range. Now they're gonna come back in. There was the hook. And the brew split as well. The Pandas are able to get themselves out. This is really sloppy from them in all fairness. This was not a well-initiated fight at all, and they need to back off now. They're going to end up dying. The Brew will reassemble shortly, and they'll take the tower. Are they going to continue? Yeah, I guess they feel like they... Nope, never mind. Good call, guys.
They'll back up. They just wanted to make sure that they got the tower in mid. Basically, what happened is he was trying to save his split because he was like, I don't want to use my split for a Rubik that has 100 HP, but the Rubik stole the clap as well, and it actually slowed him so he couldn't get his last auto attack off. So it was a nice play by the Rubik.
8-5, TongFu continuing to pile it on. Ravage is going to be... Ravage is up now, actually. 90 seconds from now, they'll have split. And, like, right there was a good example. Like, the aggressiveness and the positioning TongFu can take is remarkable, and there's almost no potential to burst them at all. I mean, you can hit them with an Ice Blast and then hit them with everything you have, but you know, even if you hit them with a Crypt Swarm and your Fade Bolt and a Flame Break and a Lasso, a lot of these heroes just are not going to die soon quick enough. They're just not. And now there's going to be a Lasso on the Jin Q. Here we go. Let's test it. And they actually did get him. He did manage to get off his Searing Chains before he ended up dying. So they apparently, in that instance, had just enough.
He's going for the Yasha build as well. I believe it was ZYF that was doing that last time, and he's teaching him. He's teaching all the players in China to go this Yasha build. This interesting Yasha build. Seems to work though.
Yeah, it gives him that movement speed, and I troll you with it just because you seem to hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I just think I just thought it was weird. Like, yeah. Anyway, like I said, it makes the speed of your close range remnants a little bit more effective, and then just makes your overall speed nice. It's a nice standalone item, but it's still kind of weird to me. But oh well, it seems to be working.
Splits up again for Qian. Down at bottom, they're going to catch out LPC. Doom's actually spent on that, and it's nice to get the Jakiro, but I think they take the tower as a result, because without Doom, I don't know how they can fight.
Yeah, Clock isn't there yet. He's actually walking towards top to farm, so they don't want to fight this yet, despite having the Doom down with Ravage off cooldown and Split off cooldown. So yeah, I do find that a little bit strange too. It would be a 4-on-5 fight though, and I believe the Batrider Lasso is up very soon. Yeah, 3 seconds for that. So they're playing it safe. I think that's the right call actually.
We can see HGT actually has bitten into their lead a little bit. Still a bit to go. But they've cut it down about 30%, something like that. Experience same way. And here in mid, we're actually going to see an Ice Blast, and they get the Brew. Got there just in time to see him jump. So they're catching individual heroes out, and TongFu beginning to get a little bit sloppy.
Same thing of last game, actually. Like, they had such a good lead, good start, and what I think to be much better teamfight heroes, at least in this juncture, but getting a little sloppy, getting picked off. I will say, though, to their credit, HGT's getting nice pickoffs with the Batrider Lasso and Doom when he can. Oh, ran. Caught. He's going to flame break the Clockwork out, but it's not going to matter. He's going to try to use Firefly to get away. He is burning very quickly, and they got him. Oh!
Almost denied by the creeps. Almost. Very, very careful or close as they let loose with their little spears. Up at top, we see Air, encountering Jen, and no Searing Chains, had already used it, and he will just go ahead and Remnant away. And that death in mid, correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't have down a Remnant, right? Like, he should have gotten away there. If he had time to cast Searing Chains, he should have had time to Remnant.
I think he did have a Remnant, because I actually clicked on him when he was dead, and it said 2 available, which means there had to be 1 out. I didn't see him get initiated on him immediately, but yeah, I think he had 1 down. I could be wrong, but normally when it says 2, it's because there is 1 down.
Yeah. Nice Ice Blast caught 2, and that'll be enough to force LPC and Kien back. But yeah, like I was just thinking that over. Like, I'm really shocked they managed to get him in the Brew. I caught just the tail end of the Brew gang, so I can't speak to it. But Jin Q, I feel like should have survived that, and I'm losing sleep over it, as you can tell.
BKB straight from Doom, no Midas, which is I guess a little interesting in the sense that most Dooms in the Eastern scene love to get that Midas. He's in 1 position, so I think it's understandable to build him a little bit differently. And looking at TongFu's lineup, like I mentioned at the start, BKB is paramount, is of paramount importance to actually be able to fight this lineup. And like I said, the Yules is up for Death Prophet, but she definitely needs a BKB as well after this. I really hope she goes for straight BKB.
I am writing something. Yay! Tidehunter got Blink Dagger after Arc Boots and not Mech. Makes me happy. But, yeah, it doesn't look like they want a Mech, or if they do, they want it much later. But Kabu, like, getting the Blink Dagger, I think, is so, so important. And I'm actually a little surprised that Edison J went BKB first instead of Blink. And hang on, we're going to have Jin Q caught out. Does he have? Yeah, look. Oh, he got doomed. Well played that time. He got a little cute with it. And I didn't see, did he have a Remnant that time? Yeah. Fire Remnant charges available 1. And he got cute. Used Sleight of Fist and a few other things that didn't actually Remnant in time. His very quick reaction. Now Pretty Hawk's caught by U9. Still going to be a much better exchange for HGT, even with the death of the Rubik and the AA that we saw. I still think it's much better off in favor of them. Down at bottom, they're continuing to push here with just these 2, LPC and Kien, though.
I think they're okay. I think that's not a terrible... Oh, here comes Air. He needs the
Courier's
Yules.
in the mix. And there's going to be an ice path. I'm not even going to worry about the Courier. Air's moving awfully quick. There's a stone to follow. They better get her down now. Gotta get her down now. Ancient Apparition got the kill on Jakiro, actually, with that Ice Blast. And he is going deep. And Stone Throne. Where's the... Wow. Wow. Well, he got the kill.
There's no flame break. He can just TP. Yep.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm going to make an illusion and people can fill in the blanks. I know why that Brewmaster is waddling right now. He's got a little extra weight that's throwing him off balance on a particular part of his body. That took some guts, to put it mildly.
You know how... You know you're tired when it took me a second to realize what you're talking about. But I like that. That's funny.
12-10, TongFu. Sell out Kien and manage to come up big on the gamble. And this gets them back to their biggest lead of the game, just a smidgen over 5,000.
Yeah, really nice. I think he tried to use the Flame Break to stop the blink right after the Panda Split, so that he couldn't blink anymore. But unfortunately, he didn't get it. And yep, top.
Wow.
Ember Spirit caught out.
Just found Jin Q in the middle of nowhere.
Oh god.
But there's that's what he. I think he's died at least twice more than he needed to. Because I'm pretty sure he's had remnants up the last 2 times I've seen him gank. Down at bottom, speaking of gank, LPC, playing greedy and going to get punished. There's the hook in from U9, though. Manages to knock back Air, and now he's going to work on ZSMJ. Uses his Blade Mail, and there's a Yules from LPC that tosses Air up. And now look who's here. Kien says hello, and Jin Q says I'm here too. As Air ends up brought down. And what looked to be a fairly straightforward gank turns into a big ol' loss.
Ravage still ready to go as well, so Kabu has that. Panda split up in 3 seconds. And yeah, very nicely done. If you see also, Jakiro, he was going for what looked to be a Yules, and then someone on the team must have been like, no, don't get Yules, get Pipe. Because he's actually had the Hood of Defiance. And that Doom actually didn't really do any damage to him, just because of the extra magic resistance, the 30 spell resistance that he has. And yeah, the last remnant that he had when he got ganked by the Batrider. Batrider doesn't have Force, and this is why Force after Blink is so important. He's actually not even going for Force, he's going for a BKB, which, yeah, a BKB is great, and I do stress the importance of it, but I feel like Force is so absolutely core on Batrider that opting out of it instead of getting a BKB over it is just a mistake in my opinion.
Scepter up on the brew now too, and I would agree, by the way, that it seems like there's a general lack of mobility across the board for HGT. I mean, they've got the blink on the bat, and that's how that should. Yep, here we go. There's going to be the Ravage, a turnaround. Kian will get it split off super easily, and this is going to be a game-turning fight. U9's on the money as well. We see airdrop. Pretty Hall goes for a ride. You must be this tall to ride, and he's about to get knocked down to shape, to size. And 16-10, that's a 3 for Nil, and it only costs a couple of ultis, but yeah, lack of mobility in general, lack of burst damage, and this one is getting very, very ugly. ZSMJ even has to use his BKB to try to get away here. Searing Chains didn't have the mana for it anyway. He was actually just a little behind on his bottle charge, but the BKB wouldn't have expired anyway, so they take the tier 2 mid. They're going to go... No, they're not. I thought they were either going to go Roshan or pressure at tier 3, but I guess the respawn timers are still really short. This feels like a much longer game, actually. The net worth is now getting out of hand. 3 of the top 4 in terms of net worth, all belonging to TongFu, and at the top is the man you don't want to be. That's Jin Q on the Ember.
Yeah, you said it. The respawn timers are just way too short for HGT, so they would be up and ready to go. Doom is ready. Didn't have BKB, and he is going for Ags. I really feel like not getting Blink on Doom is just is also kind of a mistake. Like, I feel like Blink just synergizes so well with the hero. Really exploits his true strength, which is just getting one of the best ultimates off onto a hero instantly. But he wants the Ags. Yeah, here comes the THP. Looks pretty dead. Pretty tanky, though, with the pipe. Very tanky with the pipe, and it takes a right-click from the Doom to help secure that.
I just noticed that Rubik stole Macro Pyre.
Ah, nice.
Yep, that's the... Gave me a double take there for a second. I heard the sound and saw it on. I was like, wait a minute, he didn't turn around. What kind of cheats and hacks are these? But off of that kill, they're going to go to work on Roshan. They're going to be able to take it at a relatively good clip, but I think this is something that can be contested. Jin Q wants to go back to base and then fly back in. There's going to be the rocket. They get a spot onto Roche. He's going to go right on into air, and this is ballsy. He ends up getting lifted, but look at air. He's going to be Yules and Kin. Once again gets the ulti off. ZSMJ has done nothing with this Doom. Nothing whatsoever. As he just gets demolished. A double kill for our Ember Spirit. Ran is just kicking it. Just hanging. Got a good spot. Pretty Haw, once again, caught out. Brought down. 19-12. What, is Ran going to sit here and try to hide? Nope, they're going to call it. I was going to say he's going to try. Wow.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I thought he was going to sit there and try to, like, snatch the Aegis. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, TongFu, who started out their D2L Eastern campaign in a less than encouraging fashion, has played their way back in, and with this win, secures themselves a seed in the playoffs. Now, where they wind up is, of course, going to be up to who wins our next match. If LGD wins, HGT goes in 4th position. If Lai wins, actually, check that. It's the same regardless. So HGT, no, actually not HGT. We're talking about TongFu. TongFu, yeah, if LGD wins, they go in 4th position. And if Lai wins, they go in 5th position. So there's still going to be a bottom seed, but no matter what, they're going to be playing on day 1, which is coming up very, very shortly. We'll put the schedule up for that. But I'm really impressed, man. TongFu just laid an egg for the first few weeks of D2L play, and now they find themselves with a chance to go to Vegas. Good on them.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of individual talent in some of these teams that people don't know about. I've talked about this before. Specifically from LVZYF has really impressed me. From this lineup, it's Sin Shing, and I believe his actual name is Sun Shang. I could be wrong with this, but lot of talent. In fact, someone actually I saw, I think, tweeted either you or D2L or something talking, or just tweeted that, like, this guy from LV doesn't get an. I know I'm talking about LV, but I have to say, because it kind of works with TongFu. But this guy from LVZYF, he's not getting enough love, and someone's like, wait, AC and Trout are talking about him all the time. But that's ZYF and also these members on TongFu. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that there's a lot of individual talent. It's awesome to see them try to find their groove. It's not all about individual talent, of course. And that's why they struggled so much at the beginning, is because, yeah, you have the talent, but you need to find your groove. And I think as a team, they're starting to finally find their groove. And it's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to get to see them in action at least one more time. Can't say that for HGT. With today's loss, they fall out of playoff contention. and finish their D2L Eastern campaign. So want to thank them, of course, for being a part of our tournament this year. And in the West, we've had some teams drop. We've had some scheduling issues and everything else. But for the most part, HGT signed on, stuck with us. And really happy to have had a chance to broadcast them over these last weeks. And I think they've got a ton of potential. I've seen Pretty Haw play like crazy. I've seen Air go crazy. Kaka's very solid support. ZSMJ is a living legend. I think HGT's got potential. I hope that they don't rush this squad. I hope they just let them develop, you know?
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more.
All right, guys, we're about to jump into our second series. Actually, that's a fib. I'm telling fibs on the air. It's not about to because it's just 10 o'clock, and our next one's not up for 50 minutes, so it's actually going to be a 50-minute wait. But I want to thank everyone for being a part of the broadcast. And this is our, if I'm not mistaken, this is our last Eastern. No, we have one more tomorrow, don't we?
I think it's actually the beginning of the bubble race. I
think so too.
That's what I saw on the schedule anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll figure it out. You'd think we know, right? No. Honestly, the scheduling has been shifted a lot, and that's not on our administration's fault at all. There's been a lot going on in the West, which is somehow trickled into the East, and that's how that tends to go. But one way or the other, we are going to have our playoff teams determined. That's for sure. By the end of play tonight, the playoff teams will be a known quantity. And we're going to be beginning that either tomorrow or the next day. So make sure you hit follow here on twitch.tv/D2L. We don't want you to miss a minute of that action or a minute of action all throughout the rest of this season, and especially on into 2015. Got lots of big things planned and want to have you as a viewer and a fan for as long as we can. So make sure you hit twitch.tv/D2L where you're probably watching this right now. Or if you're watching through some other hosting, go ahead, click the button that says view on Twitch and then hit follow. We'll love you for it. All right, our next series of the night is going to be coming up here shortly. It's going to be LGD taking on Lie Gaming. Both of these teams are already in the playoffs, no doubt about it. But the fate of IG hangs in the balance. If Lie wins, IG is out. And the fate of their seeding matters as well. One of these teams could end up playing on day one. One of these teams could end up not having to play but one extra series. So can't wait to find out how that's going to end up looking out. Again, make sure you're back here in, almost 50 minutes to the minute. We're twitch.tv/D2L. I'm EC, and that's Trout. We'll be back.